Okay.
1 moment. Through you, Madam Chair, we have begun streaming and recording. You can start when you're ready.
Good morning to everyone this morning. Called order. The time is 10:02 a.m. on Thursday, June 22nd. I'd like to call this a Aurora Appeal Tribunal meeting to order. This is a public meeting that's being audio and video recorded. I'll start by introducing the tribunal members and staff. My name is Linda Duringer, and I am the tribunal chair. The other tribunal members are Balpreet Grewal, Tom Plamadon, Marcella Sosidia, and Julian Yang. I will also note that the Deputy Town Clerk, Jacqueline Grossi, is in attendance in their capacity as the tribunal secretary. The role is to keep records of official business of the tribunal and its decisions. For each appeal that will be considered, the following process will occur. The town's case presenter will provide an opening statement and then present evidence. The appellant will then have the opportunity to make a brief opening statement, which should outline the nature of their appeal and the relief being sought by the tribunal. They will also present their evidence. Any materials such as documents or photographs that the case presenter or appellant had submit to the tribunal for review have been marked as exhibits in the distributed packages. The case presenter and appellant will have the right to make closing submissions, first by the case presenter and then by the appellant. The final submission should include a statement of what each party is requesting of the tribunal with respect to the order. Following the closing submissions, the tribunal will then recess and deliberate the matter. The tribunal has the power to confirm, modify, or rescind the order. The tribunal may render a decision, or they may reserve its decision and provide it at a future date, or adjourn the matter for a future date. The decision of the tribunal shall be final and binding and will be sent to the appellant in writing. Land acknowledgement. The town of Aurora acknowledges that the Anishinaabe lands on which we live and work are the traditional and treaty territory of the Chippewas of Georgina Island, as well as many other nations whose presence here continues to the day. As the closest First Nation community to Aurora, we recognize the special relationship the Chippewas have with the lands and the waters of this territory. They are the water protectors and environmental stewards of these lands, and as a municipality, we join them in these responsibilities. We further acknowledge that Aurora is part of the treaty lands of the Mississaugas and Chippewas, recognized through Treaty Number 13, as well as the Williams Treaty of 1923. A shared understanding of how rich cultural heritage that has existed for centuries and how our collective past brought us to where we are today will help us walk together into a better future. Okay, let's move on to the agenda. Let's approve the agenda. May I please have a motion to approve the revised agenda as circulated by Legislative Services? Tom. Moved by Tom, seconded. Julian, thank you. Any questions on the agenda? No? Okay, I'll call a vote. All in favor? Opposed? No, that carries. Thank you. Are there any declarations of pecuniary interest? Shaking of the head. Marcella? No? Valpreet? Okay. Appeals for consideration. All right, here we go. We will now commence the appeal hearing for matter 5.1, 16 Mosaics Avenue, the training order, Animal Services Bylaw number 6197-19. I will invite the town's case presenter to start with their opening statement and present their evidence, and ask you to state your name and your number. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Pleasure to see you guys all again. It's been a while. My name is Lindsay Clark. I'm the supervisor of Animal Services. I've been employed with the town of Aurora since 2018. I've been a supervisor since 2019. Oh, sorry, I just can't hear you.
Okay, you can. Thank you, Lindsay, very much. You can go ahead and present your case.
Thank you. I apologize. It is a long summary. It was 3 pages, but because my eyesight seems to be fading me as I grow older, I've turned it into 5 pages and made the font quite large. So please bear with me. Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you. On Thursday, June 1st, 2023, the town of Aurora received a report for a dog-on-dog bite. I was advised that the incident took place on Saturday, May 27th, 2023, between the hours of 12 to 1 p.m. at the Canine Commons Dog Park, located on Industrial Parkway. I was informed by Janet McPherson that she brought both her dogs to the park that day and was about to leave right before the incident occurred. Janet was saying goodbye to fellow users of the park and was located by the picnic tables near the north side entrance. As Janet was leaving, she noticed a gentleman, which later identified as Alan Dean, coming into the park with his dog Lizzie. Within a few seconds of coming through the entrance gate, Lizzie ran towards a small pack of dogs where Janet's dog Molson was located. Moments later, Janet's dog Molson, a 13-year-old male 13-year-old male lab, was attacked by Lizzie, who is described as a senior shepherd mix, dark in color. Janet immediately noticed a small patch of hair missing on Molson's left shoulder, but didn't think anything further in that moment. Janet stated that shortly after arriving home, her husband noticed blood and a large laceration on Molson's left shoulder. Janet used prescribed vet shampoo to wash and clean the wound, but after several days, the wound did not heal and it became infected. Janet's vet was not available, so she did transfer Molson to the 404 Vet Emergency Clinic for treatment on Wednesday, May 31st, 2023 at approximately 4 p.m. Molson was treated for his injuries with a wound flush, medication, and received antibiotics to avoid further infections. Overall, Molson's vet bill came to $724.98 with additional visits required for aftercare checkups. It is important to note, Janet did not speak directly with Alan Dean after the incident occurred on May 27th, 2023, because at that point in time, she was unaware that Molson was injured. Janet did reach out to other park users to obtain Alan's information. On Monday, June 1st, 2023, I sent out an email to Alan Dean advising him that the town of Aurora had received a report for a dog-on-dog bite that occurred on May 27th, 2023 at the Canine Commons Dog Park. That same day at 11:36 a.m., Alan called into Animal Services. He advised that he doesn't recall any major incidents happening that day, but there was a scuffle between Lizzie and a few other dogs. Alan is willing to fill out a statement for the day and requested the complainant's information. I provided education on our privacy legislation within the town of Aurora that we strictly follow. I advised that I will discuss the file further during my visit later that day. I attended Janet's residence on June 1st, 2023 at approximately 2 p.m. Janet brought Molson into the living room and removed his shirt. I witnessed one large laceration on Molson's left shoulder and took pictures of the injury. I also had Janet sign and date the photos she provided to me earlier via email and all vet records. I explained the protocols for when skin has been broken due to an aggressive act occurring as per the Canine Control Bylaw 6197-19. Janet confirmed she will be willing to appear if required for an appeal process to have a training order issued. Janet is concerned for public safety due to Alan continuously bringing his dog Lizzie to the park on a regular basis. Janet did advise she located a Facebook post. Janet did advise she located a post on Facebook about Alan's dog Lizzie from another aggressive incident from a few years prior. I explained that there are no previous records on file for Alan Dean in our system that I can locate. I provided a witness statement to Janet to be filled out and to be completed the following day by June 2nd, 2023. It is important to note during this visit, I did explain the town of Aurora is not liable or will assist with any vet bills, and it is a civil matter. I attended Alan's home on Thursday, June 1st, 2023 at approximately 3:15 p.m. I met with Alan and his wife, and I again explained the town of Aurora had received a concern for a dog-on-dog bite. Alan did advise he remembered a little scuffle that happened between Lizzie and another dog, but was unaware a bite had occurred. Alan advised that Lizzie likes to be alpha and will show dominance towards other dogs. He stated that dogs will be dogs during my visit. I provided education on the town of Aurora's bylaws pertaining to aggressive acts and puncture of skin. I advised Alan that if Lizzie likes to be alpha, then the dog park is probably not the best place to take her. I explained that Lizzie will have numerous encounters with other dogs that could lead to another aggressive act occurring. I explained the 3 different types of orders that can be issued by the town of Aurora's Animal Services Department. Those orders go as follows: dangerous dog order, muzzle order, and training order. I requested a picture of Lizzie for town records, as we do keep track of all dogs involved in bite incidents. I provided Alan with a witness statement to be filled out and a business card for any additional follow-ups. I asked Alan to have his witness statement to be completed on Friday, June 2nd, 2023. At this meeting, Alan also advised that Lizzie was adopted from the OSPCA about 4 years ago. I requested that Alan send Lizzie's rabies information as well as the paperwork from the original adoption from the OSPCA. Alan stated that he would send it via email later to me that day on June 1st, 2023. On Friday, June 2nd, 2023, I confirmed with both parties that their statements were ready to be picked up. I had Animal Services summer student Noemi Vincing collect the statements and bring them back to the office so I could review them. After reviewing both statements, I had reasonable grounds to believe that an unwanted and aggressive interaction happened between Molson and Lizzie on Saturday, May 27th, 2023, between the hours of 12 and 1 p.m. at the Canine Commons Dog Park located on Industrial Parkway in Aurora. This interaction did result in significant injury to Molson that required vet treatment. At this point in time, I'm not sure whether the injury was caused by a bite or a scratch, but I can confirm skin was broken. After speaking with Janet and Alan, I believe that moving forward with a municipal training order would address the public safety concerns for Lizzie. I believe that if Lizzie likes to dominate other dogs, then additional incidents will occur if she continues to be exposed on a daily basis. My recommendation is for the training order to be upheld and for Lizzie to receive behavioral training to correct the dog-on-dog aggression and dominance behavior. I believe this will benefit Lizzie since she is a rescue and her background history is not fully disclosed. On Saturday, June 3rd, 2023, issue a municipal training order to Alan Dean. Bethany provided instructions for the training process and the appeal guidelines within the 15 days. On Tuesday, June 20th, 2023, I followed up with both parties, Janet and Alan, to make sure that they will be attending the appeal on Thursday, June 22nd, 2023. During my conversation with Alan at approximately 3:30 p.m., I advised him that I'm just following up to make sure he is able to attend the appeal. Alan advised that he's very busy and has bad Wi-Fi. I explained that he filed the appeal request, so his attendance is required in order to move forward. Alan stated he does not understand why this incident was reported, as he separated Lizzie right away when the incident occurred. Alan stated that he believes the Town of Aurora Animal Services Department is out to get him, and that he, and I quote, that he has, and I quote, dealt with you people before. Alan continued to explain there was another incident that took place 2 to 3 years ago with Lizzie. Alan also mentioned that on Lizzie's OSPCA adoption paperwork, he can be aggressive and lunge at other dogs. I advised Alan this is new information that was not disclosed during our initial conversation on June 1st, 2023, when I asked if she had any previous history of aggression and for her paperwork. Alan started to raise his voice. I advised him to get in touch with Jacqueline for any appeal amendment requests and ended the conversation. On Tuesday, June 20th, 2023 at 4:30 p.m., I again checked our records for any previous documentation for any incidents. I did not locate that on our CRM file, but I know the program has changed since 2021 and 2020. On Wednesday, June 1st, 2023 at 9:10 a.m., I contacted the OSPCA and requested a copy of the adoption forms and the rabies information for Lizzie, as I did not receive it from Alan. I reviewed the file and was provided the file right away via email under behavioral, and I noticed, under behavioral observations, it stated that Lizzie, formerly known as Staggy, is reactive and she will lunge, bark, and growl at other dogs. It also strongly recommends upon adoption that Lizzie receive condition and socialization training for her dog-on-dog reactivity. On June 20th, 21st, I contacted the Deputy Clerk, Jacqueline, and asked if my late entries can be included in the evidence package for the town of Aurora. And then this brings me to the end of my summary.
Thank you very much, Lindsay. I'm going to just address this to Alan. You'll be provided with an opportunity to present your evidence as well in a few moments. But before the members ask any questions of the case presenter, do you have any objections to the evidence that was just submitted by Lindsay?
Me?
Alan? Yes, please. Yeah.
I'll be very honest. I never heard a word that was said there. My microphone, it was too low, but I get the gist of things. You heard that I got this dog 4 years ago from the pound.
Right, but what I'm asking you right now, I realize now you didn't hear it, but you read it all. What she said has been put in writing in front of you at one point. So she has just repeated everything that was already provided to us in the earlier package, right? Yeah. Do you agree with what she said about the events that have happened?
Not at all.
Not at all. Okay. No. So you do have objections to the evidence that was submitted by Lindsay from Animal Services?
You have my statement, eh?
Yes, we do.
And that day it was over in a matter of seconds, and my dog.
So Alan, just one moment. Sorry, through you, Madam Chair. So Alan, the chair is just asking today, the evidence package that you received via email, do you have an issue with any of that evidence that was provided? And then after we're done letting the committee speak to Lindsay as the case presenter, you'll have an opportunity to provide your statement to the committee. So right now it's more of just a yes or a no. Do you have any issues, or do you disagree with any of the information that was provided by Lindsay?
Do I disagree with the statements? Yes, but I mean, I've seen it. I don't agree with it, but I've seen it.
Okay, do you think any of it is untrue?
Yes, I do. My dog has never bitten another dog. That's what's untrue.
Which exhibit do you find untrue today? Which piece of evidence?
Pardon?
Which piece of evidence?
I don't need you. Pardon?
Which piece of evidence that you received via email, which piece of evidence do you not agree with today?
I don't agree with that. I mean, I don't want to see a dog get hurt, but when I seen pictures of that dog, my dog didn't do that.
Okay, so Alan, is there a piece of evidence from the exhibits that you disagree with today?
Yeah.
What is the piece of evidence that you disagree with today?
The pictures of the dog.
Okay, the pictures from the witness?
Yeah, listen, I don't want to see a dog get hurt, but I know my dog didn't do that.
So Alan, right now we're just going through the evidence.
It didn't look like a dog bite.
Alan, right now we're just going through the evidence, and then the chair will provide you with an opportunity to tell your version of what happened on this day.
Okay.
So would you like us to continue going through the evidence, or would you like to note a piece of evidence that you have an issue with today?
No, I'll go wait and see what happens. I mean, it's a whole open discussion, I hope.
Yeah, so through you, Madam Chair, you can advance on to the next part of the agenda.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, we've got that clear. All right, so what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to see if the tribunal members have any questions for Lindsay, the case presenter, right now. Tom? No. Julian? No. Marcella? No? Okay, we'll carry on then. I'm going to invite you now, Alan, to start with your opening statement and present any evidence that you might have in this case. You can go ahead.
Well, the only evidence I have, I got this dog Lizzie from the dog pound 4 years ago in August. You've seen the statement from the Ontario Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. I mean, she did have a problem, and I was aware of that. She has a habit of lunging at other dogs, but she has never, ever bitten another dog or person. I took her I wanted to get her socialized. I realized that this dog has had a terrible background. She comes from a reservation, and I have no idea what would happen to her. But I realized that she had problems. I used to take her to the dog park, and I put it in the smaller part so she could see other dogs. And after a year, we did have a problem when I first took her into the major dog park because of the pandemic. A lot of dog owners that go to the dog park don't like a stray like mine unless you have a pedigree dog. And I've seen that. In this group, they always sit around the picnic table. They don't like me because while they're sitting at the picnic table, whatever they're doing, it's none of my business. But if their dog goes and does something, proves, and they're talking and don't see it, I will tell them. Most people will go and collect that. Some don't like being told. I mean, I've run into problems with them. The other thing about Lizzie, she is a mutt. She likes to play. She's a rough dog, and she likes to play with dogs, and they sort of grab the harness, and they, and it's all playing. Some owners don't like that. And this particular time, there's a couple of owners with their dogs that don't like my dog playing with them, and they made a complaint to me, and I put an apology on Facebook, because we are very lucky with this dog park. It's a beautiful facility. It's great for dogs. And I know when I go there, there is a risk. I'm an amputee. I have one leg. I go with my dog. I've been knocked over by dogs running around. And this winter, there's another big lady that sits on that picnic table. I got up to clean after a dog, and she got hit by dogs. And we all run over to help her to get up. So it's not a safe area sometimes. There's risk involved. I've seen dogs fight there all the time. I've been in the winter time when the snow's there and there's blood all over the snow when I've arrived there. So, I mean, it's not my dog. I've seen this. I was there yesterday. I took Lizzie there. I looked in the small dog park. There was no dogs there. So I thought, I'll let her run in there, do stuff. And I watched. And the same sort of group of people that was sitting around that picnic table, there was a terrific scuffle with dogs. And I wrote to Lindsay and told her about it, and to Jocelyn. I mean, this far worse than what happened with little Lizzie. There's a white husky, and the woman she had spoken to me, and I'm sure she was asking and getting a background on Lizzie. She has two dogs. One of them got hurt, and she took to the car yesterday. So, I mean, these things happen in the dog park. My dog can be aggressive. I know that. And I watch her all the time. I mean, when I go to the dog park, I walk my dog around the dog park. I'm with her the whole time. Now, I do have limitations. A lot of people are not as healthy or fit as I. They'll sit on the picnic table and the dogs will run round. So I feel, with my dog, I look after her. I'm very proud of her for the way she's come through all of this, what she is now. And she's never, ever bitten another dog or person. And I looked at that dog, and I hate to see dogs get hurt. Believe me, I don't want to see a dog get hurt. And I looked at it, but I'm convinced my dog didn't do that. And to me, when I look at it, now I'm not a vet or a doctor, but that didn't look like a dog bite. That looked like a cut. That's just my opinion, But all I want to do is defend my dog. I mean, if Lindsay thinks she's that aggressive that I can't take her to the dog park, I'll have to find an alternate way of doing it, because I don't want to see a dog get hurt. And I think that we're very, very lucky in town to have a facility like Canine Commons. I would want to take advantage of, but if my dog is going to upset people, and she has, because I know people that don't take the dog to the dog park. The problem is not the dogs, it's the owners. And I've seen it myself, and I've seen people not go there. What more can I say? I don't know.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Alan. if you, it seems like you've made your case there or brought all your anything that you had to say about the dog park or Lizzie up, and you're denying that your dog bit the other one. I think that's where we stand on your side of this, on your side of the side. And do you feel that at any time that you would need training for your dog?
Well, you know, I watch my dog closely. When she goes into the dog park, if there's a group sitting at that table, all the dogs are running around. Now I come into the dog park, I let it off the leash. A lot of times there are people at that table that offer treats to the dogs. Now my dog is very food motivated, and what she does, and people know her, she'll go and she'll sit quietly waiting for somebody to give her, you know. But I watch them, and some of these dogs get a little uptight, and if they get left out, and maybe Lizzie's a bit like that, I don't know. But I don't like getting treats in the dog park of people I don't know. You know, yeah. But there are people that do that, that take free treats to the dog park. I know that. And, you know, we all go to the dog park. We all love our dogs. You know, we don't want to see anything happen to them or any of them get hurt.
Sure.
But again, all I can say is I look at my dog, and since I've got her, and I've had her 4 years, I've never had her bite another dog. We've had a problem with her. Sometimes she plays a bit rough. She may lunge at a dog. She's never hurt a dog. I don't think anybody's frightened of her. When I seen the statement from the other side, I can't imagine somebody frightened of going to the dog park because of a dog like that. I mean, that's overemphasizing it, but that's not my problem, you know.
Yeah, and so you actually don't have any other evidence that you want to present to us,
no,
right?
No, just somebody, no,
just your story is what you have, yeah. Right? Okay, yeah. Just wanted to make.
I just go on the background of my dog, on the way I know her, and
absolutely.
You know.
Okay, thank you.
But I will say this: if the people get upset with my dog going to the dog park, then I won't take it there because I don't want to see another dog get hurt.
Okay, super. Okay, thank you, Alan.
And I've seen dogs get hurt all the time, but I don't want to see my dog hurt anybody.
Yeah, understood. Okay, I'm going to just ask Lindsay if she's got any objections to anything that was presented by Alan.
No objections, but I would like to point out to the committee that I had signs for aggressive dogs installed at the park in the front entrance, and then I also had separate signs installed at the small dog area for only small dogs. It's not to segregate aggressive dogs or trying to socialize. It's only for the small dogs at the dog park.
Well, just let me say this. When I take Lizzie to the dog park, if I look in that big dog park and there's small dogs there, and that's where they go, I don't take her in there.
Okay.
In fact, and if that small pound is being used, I'll take a walk through the Arboretum area through there. Because, you know, I mean, you know, in the dog park, and you've probably seen it, there's guys, they take these small dogs, and the guy there was 3 of them that bark all the time.
Right.
And if they come running after Lizzie, she's going to bark back. You know, I mean, these things happen. These are dogs, not people. You can't.
Got it, Alan. I'm going to just move on here. I'm going to let you finish up a little later there, but we're going to just carry on for now.
Okay. I'm sorry.
We've got a few questions, maybe from some of our members, from you. Okay, so I'm going to just carry on with that, and then we'll let you have a finishing thing. So I'm going to ask if any of our members here, the tribunal members, have any questions for Alan. Tom has his hand up, so we're going to go with Tom first.
Sorry, I'm just.
We got you there, Tom?
Buttons that are way too small. Oh, yeah. My fingers are too big for the teeny buttons. Sorry. Okay. Apologize. Through the chair. A couple of things. First off, Mr. Dean, has your dog ever any training, any formal training, either when you first got her or through the time you've had her?
No, I've done all the training myself. I mean, I look at the dog and realize there's a few issues. One of the big things is getting her socialized and, you know, providing a home for her, you know. No, I have not had a training, but I've never really had that many problems that I have to have
right. Sure. And I think the chair did ask, do you think that training would help your dog? I didn't hear you actually answer that question. Do you think that if your dog did have some formal training, that might help your dog?
I don't know, because like if I could say, I'll take my dog to a trainer and I'd be guaranteed this never happened again, I would do it. But I don't know that.
Yeah,
but
and I don't think anybody.
My dog, and I'm so proud of her for what she's accomplished, what we've done with her. You know, I'm so proud of her. And I know she's had problems. And she's also had puppies too when she was very young. So I know she's been abused. And I've
right.
made amends for
that. You indicated, Mr. Dean, that you don't think your dog did anything wrong here. That would infer that you don't think your dog bit Molson. I want to go to, if I may, to Janet through the chair. Janet, you were obviously on top of what was happening the day that this occurred. Mr. Dean is not denying that there was a scuffle, but I just want to ask you if you're sure that it was his dog that was aggressive with yours. Can you comment on that?
Does it go to the chair and then to me, or do I just speak?
Through the chair.
Through the chair.
Thank you.
Through the chair. You go ahead, Janet.
Oh, okay. So now I can start. It's been a while. So basically I was in the dog park and I was getting ready to leave, and a dog came bolting over to the group of dogs at the picnic table where I don't tend to hang out. I walk around the park. So I was just getting ready to leave and say goodbye, and Lizzie attacked my dog Molson. He's a 13-year-old going on 14-year-old lab. So maybe he was like a weak link dog. He's pretty old. He's almost like 80 or 90 in human years. So I heard him cry like I've never heard the cry before. And he was on the ground, and then Lizzie ran off and everybody said, that's Lizzie. And O'Neill was there with his big dog Nova, who's kind of a some kind of Corso, King Corso. I don't know all the dog breeds. And he had his dog in command sitting beside him. He won't let his dog go near Lizzie because they'll get in a fight. And so basically I heard Molson and I went and looked at him and I waved over. I think you were walking to the back of the park and I waved over. I said, it's just the fur. And then when I got home, my husband noticed the blood on the dog and I looked and it was basically the dog was bleeding. And then I got my bacterial soap from the vet because he needs that because he swims in Georgian Bay all summer. And I went to Pet Value and I washed the dog. And then I saw a 2-inch by 1-inch hole. So I took a video and a photo at the Pet Value when I was washing him at the station because he's pretty big. I can't do it at home. And then I sent the photo to my vet in Elmvale, which is close to my cottage, which I started going to my Elmvale vet during the pandemic because I adopted a puppy. So now I have 2 labs and it's hard to get back to Aurora. And the vet said, go to the emergency clinic. And so I went to the 404 emergency clinic and they recommended to me to put the dog under for $1,200 or give him medicine and take care of him for $750. And I did not want to put my lab under. My vets in Elmvale are a little bit older than the vet I had, not to be ageism or whatever, but the vet wanted to put him under. And the older vets in Elmvale just say, don't bother putting your dog under. He might not wake up. So I was really afraid that my dog would get put under and he wouldn't wake up. And so for the last 3 weeks, I've been attending to his wound twice a day and he's on antibiotics, painkillers. And I just change out t-shirts twice a day because I have to keep the wound clean. He couldn't swim, play in the mud, go run, like I had to do leash walks. So that was kind of the impact to me is basically I will not go back to the park. I mean, it cost me $724, but it also cost me the aftercare. And I've changed my whole routine. Like, I don't go to the park anymore. I just hike my dogs. That's it. Because I can't, like, I feel like I can't trust the other dogs in the park. That, you know, people are coming with dogs that aren't trained. And I know my dogs are trained. I took training with the Canine Foundation and Georgian College. I volunteered to do training with my puppy. I had one-on-one training on Zoom every week. It's a free program and it starts in October with a student and it goes till May. And I was with a student who was in transition. She actually started her own business, dog training. So I understand, I've studied dog training and I just want my dogs to be healthy and in a safe location. I don't feel safe in Canine Commons anymore.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
So a little bit roundabout way of answering my question, but you did tell your story, so I appreciate that. But you're fairly confident that it was Mr. Dean's dog that bit your dog?
Yes, I've seen pictures of the dog. It's like a black dog with some white markings on it. The folks that were around the park all said it's Lizzie's. That's Lizzie. They identified the dog. I only know the one person that I have contact with, and I said, do you want to make a statement? But I haven't been back to the park. You know, you just say hi to people.
And yeah, that's fine. I probably would be doing the same thing if I were you and you run into this occurrence. Question then through the chair to Mr. Dean then, just how well does your dog respond to command? Is your dog, like, if you said off, or do you have commands if you see your dog with aggressive tendencies? How does he respond to commands?
Mr. Dean, can you respond to that?
Well, listen, I can say what happens, and I really am sorry for your dog, Janet, believe me. But when I got there was more than one dog. There was, like, I didn't even notice the type of dogs that were there. I didn't even notice Mason at all. There was more than one dog in that scuffle.
Okay. So we don't know if your dog responds well to commands.
Yeah,
that was my question.
Listen,
you didn't answer the question.
My dog's no angel. I know that. She's no angel.
Okay.
And I know that there are people that worry about her because of her background. Again, I've been taking her to the dog park for a long time. Sure, the dogs are not people. They'll act up a bit and they're like children. I mean, and I love them, but she's not she wouldn't bite another dog. Like, okay. I've had her 4 years. I've never had a problem with that. And in this area, okay. I know that Janet thinks, no, it's only 2 dogs. There was more than 2 dogs involved. Because I was the first one in there to get mine out. You must admit with that, Janet, I was the first one in there to grab my dog.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Dean. I don't have any other questions other than we're obviously here because you're appealing the training order. So your position is you would like us to rescind that order.
Yeah. I know I've been told that before, a restraining order. And I'm like, if training would do my dog and I could, make it any better, I probably would do it. But again, I'm happy with my dog. I know she has issues and I'm there to protect her. And again, I'm very proud of her, so.
Okay, thank you very much. That's all for me, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much for that. Any other members would have any questions for Mr. Dean? Marcella, please. Go ahead.
Good evening, Madam Chair. Mr. Dean, are you just opposed in general to any dog training? Like, do you not see any benefit that Lizzie could potentially receive?
I'd be receptive if it's going to improve my dog. I would do it if you could guarantee that.
Well, I think in general, anything in life is not guaranteed. But I think it would be beneficial. I'm just trying to see if you see that potentially, even if it curbed or helped 1%, I would say would be an improvement.
I don't think so, because in this sort of instance, I'll be very honest with you. I don't want to see another dog get hurt. And if people like Janet are going to say it's my dog that's hurting their dogs, then I won't take it to the dog park either. Because I love my dogs. I love dogs. So, and I mean, that's one issue. I mean, during the pandemic, and we couldn't go to the dog park, I used to take her for long walks I used to have a big rope when I'd take her with me, because I know if she sees other dogs, she wants to go and play with them, you know, and so I keep control of her. And I've done a good job of keeping control of her. When I go to the dog park, there is a risk with dogs. Dogs are not people. They don't have creative thoughts like we have. Some of them act up, and I've seen it. I've seen it yesterday, a violent occurrence yesterday. And I think, Janet, your friend that has the 2 dogs, one of her dogs got hurt yesterday. The one with the tall blonde lady with the long hair. She took her dog to the car because I was talking to her.
Well, we'll have to stick to the topic here, Mr. Dean. Sorry to interrupt, Marcella. But
Okay, I'm sorry, I get carried away. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you get. We don't want to get off track too much. We gotta, we're on time here. So, okay, Marcella, any other questions for Mr. Dean?
Now, you did mention that Lizzie is an alpha dog, and with that alpha personality, that's one of the reasons I'm questioning why a little bit of training you'd be opposed to it, because that helps in overall understanding how to control an alpha personality. If you were to want to return to the dog park and in a cohesive and harmonious manner for fun play.
I don't know. I don't think the dog training would do Lizzie any good for the type with me. I mean, I go to the dog park to exercise my dog. And we're not all the same people. We love our dogs differently. We treat our dogs differently. I would not go to the dog park if I thought, even after training, if I thought that she would harm another dog. And I've never had a problem with that up to now. If that has happened, well, and I don't believe it did, but if it did, I wouldn't want to go there.
Now, I did, in the evidence package that we received, there was an incident back in, was it 2019 or 2020? 2020 of a previous scuffle at the dog park. So this would be a noted incident number 2. And in the first one, you yourself apologized for the incident?
Yeah, I mean, again, I know my dog. I know there are issues, or there have been issues. I'm saying I'm very pleased with their progress. Some dog owners, and you have to understand this, don't like other dogs messing with their dogs, playing. Like if I go there and Lizzie is playing with another dog, I will talk to the owner and tell her Lizzie's background. And that's one of my problems. Everybody that goes to dog park knows Lizzie's background because I've told them. When I got there, when I used to go in the small, when she was on her own, I had no problem. When she gets in the big park, if there is a problem, I want people to know about it. That she has issues. She hasn't been that much of a problem. I have never seen her bite another dog, another person. Some small dogs I worry about because in her background, she could probably damage a small dog. So it worries me a bit about that, but
So,
I don't
Mr.
think
Dean,
training would help.
so Mr. Dean, based on what you just said, would again training be something that you could look at maybe with a behavioral trainer that could assess the dog's overall temperament to maybe plan something? There's different types of trainings. There's different types of trainers. There's some that are behavioral trainers that might be more what would help and benefit Lizzie. Again, nothing's guaranteed, but I'm just saying, just to keep an open mind about the overall training aspects that there are out there.
The only thing I would say to you, if they could guarantee this would never happen, this type of thing would never happen, I would do it. But I don't think it will. I know dogs. I know dogs are not people. Then you know, I'm very happy with the way she is trained, by the way, now. I don't, you know, I mean, I know Janet's upset with her dog's got a cut. I don't think Lizzie did that. Then there was more than one dog involved. That's why I'm here.
Okay.
I mean, if I honestly thought that my dog damaged Mason, I would be devastated, believe me.
Right. Well, we're just trying to answer the questions that she's put forward on training. And so your answer in that case, I think would be no. And I think we could probably move on with that.
Yep.
All right.
That's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you. Valpreet, would you have any questions?
Yeah, I have two questions. One, I just want to get clarification from Janet. Janet, was the vet able to advise that it was a dog bite or was it a cut?
If you look at the report, it says dog bite in the vet report from the 404 clinic. It's in the package.
I don't see that.
It's in the comments section. Let me see if I can pull mine up and I'll give you the cross reference. I'm just looking at the page 7.
Like I see it under patient
It says
concern.
active concerns, dog bite wound, 31 May 2023 was established. On page 7 under medical history, it's a 404 veterinary emergency and referral hospital page.
Okay.
Do you see that?
During the scuffle, was it just Lizzie involved in that scuffle?
Yes.
Or was there other dogs?
Pushed Molson out of the circle and towards the north, the furthest end of the park, and then he fell over. That's when he cried, and I looked and there was a tuft of hair, and it was identified that it was Lizzie, and everyone that was around me identified it was Lizzie.
So there was only 2 dogs involved in the scuffle.
Yes, 2 dogs outside the circle.
Alan, and are you?
That's not true. There was more than one dog there.
No, there was a group of dogs, Alan, like, I don't know, 6 dogs or something. And I had 2 labs there, and my puppy was playing in the circle, and Molson was standing outside of the circle towards the further end of the park. And your dog came in the gate and bolted towards the group, and for some reason attacked Molson.
Okay, I'm gonna have to, I don't think, we're just gonna answer Valpreet's question directly, Janet.
Sorry, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll move on from that right now. So Valpreet, do you have any more questions for Alan or any other, Mr. Dean or?
No, that was it. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, super. Okay, I guess, Julian, would you have any questions for Mr. Dean?
Through you, Madam Chair, just a quick question. Well, 2 quick questions confirming what Alan told Tom. So Alan, you never took your dog Lizzie to formal training with a professional trainer, right? You trained her yourself?
No, I didn't do that.
Okay, so another thing is, if you saw another dog being aggressive to Lizzie, would you agree that it would help that other dog and their owner to get training?
Not particularly. I see it every day in the dog park. I see dogs going at each other.
So do you think it would be better for the dog park if all those aggressive dogs got training?
No, dogs are dogs. If my dog is bad, I don't take it to the dog park. I don't want to see anyone
so
get
if you saw a bad dog.
But I know that dogs fight.
Okay.
I've seen it all the time. I know children fight, by the way, and people fight. Sometimes some people kill each other, by the way.
So you've never took your dog to a professional trainer, but you're convinced that it won't help, even though you've never tried. Okay, thank you.
I've never thought it necessary, but to be honest, she's never bitten anybody. She's never given me cause to say, I need special training for this dog.
Okay, thank you, Alan.
Super. Okay, we got that. I'm going to, I have a couple comments I just wanted to make myself. Sorry, Tom, you go ahead then.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Sorry, I should have asked this through you to Lindsay Clark. Lindsay, was there any consideration before issuing the training order to look at a muzzle order?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I did look, and typically in situations where it's a secondary occurrence, and I have proof on record that it's a secondary occurrence of puncture of skin, then I do go forward with a municipal muzzle order. In this particular situation, I could have laid a permit dog to engage in a fight and attack and charge an additional $600 as well. I did not. I figured that because I could not find any prior incidents documented on our end, that a training order would suffice in this case to help benefit Alan and Lizzie, as she is a rescue and they like to go out on a daily basis.
Thank you, Lindsay, and through the chair. So that being said, you're really not basing the training order on any other occurrence, whether reported or not, or whether admitted by Mr. Dean in his apology in 2020 for his dog's action. Am I correct?
That's correct. I can't go off of social media. I have to go off of what's documented within the town of Aurora, something that I can prove. I can't prove a social media post.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. And that answers my question. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Tom. Before we go on, I just wanted to make two notices that to Mr. Dean about that originally you were, even though you weren't supposed to, you were using a small dog park to put Lizzie in. So obviously, to me, that shows that you had some concerns about her being in the mass with the general public in the dog park. That's why you would put her in the small area just to socialize her. You knew there was issues there, and that's why you felt more comfortable when there was no other little dogs in there to use the small dog park. Correct for her, because you knew.
Yes, with big dogs, I'm not bothered with that. I worry about the small dogs.
But you did put her in the small dog park when there was no little dogs there, just to have her work out there, because you were a little concerned with the big park.
That's true, but while I'm in there, sometimes somebody will bring their dog that is probably similar to Lizzie and put it in there. They play together in there. But I know that Lindsay's put a sign up there now that it's for small dogs and not aggressive or nervous dogs.
Right.
The only reason I went there, I didn't want to go in the big dog park because of what Janice has said. But I feel I have to get dogs some training. So that was when it's vacant, I can go in there. I don't go in there if there's other dogs in there usually.
Did you go in there prior to this altercation with Molson?
Pardon?
Did you go in the small dog park? Like, have you always been going in the small park? Or
when I first got Lizzie, I used to go there all the time because nobody was in there.
Oh, so
it was
you
a
felt more
vacant area.
comfortable.
So, and I knew her background. I knew she was a lunger.
All right.
And I thought it's going to take a while to get her trained. And again, I look at her, I'm very proud of her.
I understand that. I just wanted to make that clear that you did put her there because you were probably a little uncomfortable with putting her in the big dog park originally. And her play, like you said earlier too, is a rough play, biting on harnesses or playing, rough that way, which could have, maybe it was by accident that this occurred, because she was playing, but regardless, there has been
But the last 2.5 years, I've taken in the big dog park. It's only recently that I've taken the small one.
Okay, I'm good with that. That's answers my questions. I think everyone else has, the other members have covered the other questions that I had as well. So we're gonna just move on with that. I'm just going to ask Janet, if there's anything you want to add to what you've already said about you've gone through the whole your complaint. I think you've itemized it pretty well. I think we've got a really good idea of what it is. Is there anything that you did not say that you wanted to add it prior to us going on further?
No, I think I've covered all the questions and I've written my report pretty comprehensive. So
Yep.
I don't have anything further to add unless there's any other questions.
I don't, if anybody from the tribunal has any other questions for Janet, otherwise we'll move on. No, I think we're good.
Thank you.
Okay, now I'm going to ask Lindsay that if she'd like to make a brief closing statement, confirming what you're asking us to do here, and requesting, I should say.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I would like to see the training order upheld, as I believe that it would be beneficial.
Okay, perfect. Alan, you got anything else you want to say? I think you
No,
want a very brief closing statement at all? You have anything you want to add?
I'm just here to make my case, and whatever happens, happens.
Super. Okay, thank you for that, Alan. I'm going to now ask Jacqueline for a small recess so we can deliberate what the outcome of this is going to be.
So what we're going to do now is put the committee members into a breakout room. They'll be able to discuss the evidence and everything they've heard today, and they can discuss a potential decision. So Alan, Lindsay, and Janet, I'll ask you to stay in this room. You're welcome to turn your video and audio off while you're waiting for this decision. We will come back and make sure that you're all still connected before we provide the decision. And if you have any questions, please feel free to let me know.
Okay, awesome.
Well,
Thank you,
would I be wise to go, and could you do this by mail or something like that, or?
Yeah, so Alan, what will happen is the committee is going to go into a breakout room and discuss their decision, and then I will send you the decision by email. So if you do not want to stay, that's perfectly fine. You'll receive the decision by email. If you would prefer to stay and wait for their decision, you're welcome to do that as well.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you.
I'm just going to open up the room if our committee members can join the room when you get your invitation. Perfect. So I'll be back when the committee has a decision to provide the group. Hi, everyone. The committee has made a decision, so we'll just make sure that everybody has joined again. I do see that our appellant has left us, so just a reminder that this decision will be provided via email to all parties from myself once we have a written decision from the committee. Madam Chair, I'll hand it over to you.
Thanks very much. Okay, we've made a decision, and the training order for Lizzie at 16 Mosaics Avenue dated June 3rd, 2023 be confirmed in its entirety. Also, as a committee, we would recommend that the appellant and Lizzie not visit the dog park until the training has been completed. I'm going to may I have a motion for this decision? Tom, moved by Tom, second? Valpreet. Thank you very much. All right, I think that's it for today.
Yeah, so Madam Chair, if you could just call the vote on that motion, please.
Oh, all in favor? None? Fine. None, no nays. Okay, I'm going to call for an adjournment now. May I have a motion to adjourn, please? Marcella, thank you. Seconded by? Julian, thank you. All in favor? Okay. This motion to adjourn the meeting is complete. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it, and thanks for your patience once again.